Hi, Nick. Welcome. Welcome to our radio show. So excited to have you on. Hello?
Hello.
Oh, good. You're there. I just wanted to say hi, and we're so excited to have you on the show.
Well, thank you very much.
Sharon was going to come into the studio, but she decided to just tell you hi and thank you from my part. So she's not coming in. But anyway, that's great to have you on the show. And I just wanted to do a little brief biography of yours. You have a long one, but I wanted to concentrate mostly on your animation poems and on your desire to help children. And you're also a poet, and you have a YouTube channel. Could you please tell people what the YouTube channel is right off the top of your head?
Absolutely.
Okay.
My YouTube channel consists of two playlists, and one of them I call Tunes, and that one contains animated poetry that I had created. And the other playlist is also called Tunes, but it's spelled Tunes. And that one contains some of the songs that I wrote and put up there for folks to take a look at.
Okay. That's great. Yeah, we have a poet from India who's also a filmmaker, so I told him that you would be on, so hopefully he's listening in on his mobile device. I was going to also mention that Nick is a retired aeronautics engineer. Is that right?
Yes, I've had work in the aeronautics industry. I'm primarily a hardware and software test engineer.
And you also have lived around the United States a lot. I can relate to that because we lived all over the United States. My father was constantly looking for a better place to live, so we moved a lot. I think my parents moved 35 times in 35 years, something like that.
Well, you have to go where the work is, right?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, I can relate to that, and it certainly gave us a lot of different experiences as well. And I imagine for you too, moving around to so many different places.
Yes.
So
I've turned moving into an art form.
Yeah, that sounds good. I think my parents did that too. I didn't appreciate it at the time, but yeah, I think it is an art form for sure. And I think also your ideas about helping children, because I think it's so important right now that both boys and girls need to learn civility and learn knowledge about getting along with each other and that type of thing. And that's where I think your animated poems come in. And also wanted to thank you, and Sharon wants to thank you for her support of the Big Bessie stories. Victor reads them on the radio every week, but we have a lot of guests today, so we're not going to do it. But I was wondering if you could talk a little bit, because the emails that have come in about you have been asking about, is this animated poetry with children's stories, is that your passion, or is the music? I haven't heard your music, but what is your passion in terms of getting the word out there?
Well, certainly I do enjoy creating poetry, and I was able to pick up some animation software, and so I decided to combine the two. And so in some of the poems, what I try to do is to convey three positive concepts to children. And the first is to be able to recognize when someone is in need of assistance. The second one is that it is a good thing to offer help to those who are in need of assistance. And finally, that performing an act of kindness can help you make friends. So the way I do that in these poems is I will place the main character in a difficult situation, and someone will come along and offer to help, and the two become friends. So I can imagine a parent or a teacher sitting down with a child, talking about the words in the poem, what the words mean, does the child understand what's happening, and doing the same thing with the video part.
It would almost be like doing a learning manual, wouldn't it be? Yeah, that
Well,
along with it.
yes, hopefully one that would be a little bit more enjoyable because every kid likes cartoons.
That's right, for sure. Now, you have a poem that you sent. I was wondering if you wanted to read it or read another poem because I wanted to get some of your poetry in there. And if you have a song you want to sing, you're welcome to do that.
Well, let me go ahead and read this poem here, just a few words about the poem. What I found is that in the morning, just before sunrise, I would hear a bird start chirping. And then I would hear another bird start chirping, and then another. And then just after sunrise, they would stop. And so this poem is about that early morning ritual, and it's called The Orchestra.
Go ahead.
They chirp and tweet. They chirp and tweet. It's their routine like clockwork every morn. It seems to me a symphony of whistles, flutes, and horns. The songs they sing are quite unique. The tunes they play divine. There's something new, a twist or two. It's different every time. First one, then two, they all join in. Who orchestrates this band? It's what they say in their musical way that makes it all so grand.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, thank you so much. And do you have a song that you could sing a cappella, or you'd rather not?
No, I really don't have the kind of voice that people would want to hear singing.
Okay.
What I do is I'm very much a novice or an amateur songwriter, and I write songs on the guitar.
Okay, that's. I see.
I don't have anything that I could play, but your viewers, your listeners are welcome to go out to my YouTube channel, and they can take a look at a couple of songs there. What I found is that I have the greatest respect for people who can play instruments because it's very difficult.
Right.
I first started to play guitar when I was in the military back in the late 1970s. But I was lucky to meet some people who could show me how to play parts of songs that I liked. And that kind of kept me interested. But then in 1978, after I was discharged, I enrolled in college and began working on my career in engineering. So for many years, my guitar spent much of its time in its case.
Right.
And I've never taken music lessons, so I couldn't figure out how songwriters wrote their songs. How did they decide what kind of notes and chords to create? So then along came the internet, and people began to put information about music theory on the internet, and they began to put songs on the internet. So I was able to download diagrams that showed the guitar chords and notes for songs that I liked. And I used those diagrams to play the songs, and it sounded like it does on the radio. So I started to teach myself about music theory, and I began to understand what the songwriters were doing. They were using musical scales and music theory to create their songs. Now, that's a bit of an oversimplification.
Right.
So what you'll see on my YouTube channel are my first attempts to write songs using what I've learned about music theory. And the songs are written using the notes from a musical scale. They're a bit rough and unpolished, but the important thing is that they're my songs, my creations. And, as I continue to practice, and write new songs, I can feel that I'm getting better, and that's what drives me, knowing that I can improve.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's wonderful. So do you plan on continuing to write poetry and create more animation as well?
Absolutely. By the way, I sent you an updated version of the Big Bessie promo. Did you have a chance to take a look at that?
Yeah, it's beautiful. Sharon was so tickled. So I think we're going to try to take it tomorrow when we go to that red carpet event and at least get names and, emails and data so that we can contact them, because basically it'll be a meet and greet type of thing, and then I've got to do an article on it. So, but
this is Victor. I just want to say Big Bessie was very expressive in that animation.
Victor was very impressed. Victor is a big proponent of Big Bessie too. So Victor was very impressed with the animation. It was really good, and it took it a lot further, too, so I think that's absolutely wonderful. Well, we have to say goodbye now, Nick, but we'd love to have you back on the radio for a bit of a longer time, and it's been a real honor to have you on the show and to speak to you in person, so thank you so much. This is Co-op Radio, 100.5 FM, the World Poetry Cafe. Thank you, Nick.
Have a great day, Ariadne, and may peace and happiness follow you in wherever you go.
Okay, thank you. So,
Bye-bye.
So